Welcome. We are presenting a question from K.c.s.e 1995 paper 1, question number 11. The question we have reads, Akinyi bought maize and beans from a wholesaler. She then mixed the maize and beans in the ratio 4:3. She bought the maize at 21 shillings per kg and 42 shillings per kg of the beans. If she was to make a profit of 30%, what should be the selling price of 1 kg of the mixture? Before we look at the profit and the selling price, we must first get the cost price. We have been told that maize was costing 21 shillings per kilogram and the beans were costing 42 shillings per kg. We have also been told that the ratio of maize to beans was actually 4:3. Remember, as we have always said, the ratio represents the quantity and therefore we can now get the cost, that is the cost per kg. And to get the cost per kilogram, we are going to take the cost of maize, or the cost of 1 kilogram of maize, which is 21. We multiply by the quantity. This 4 is the proportion, or the number of kilograms, plus the cost price of beans is 42 per kg times the proportion, and in this case we divide by the total ratio, which is 4 plus 3. Having done that, we can now proceed and multiply. 21 times 4 will give us that is 21 times 4 plus 42 times 3 will give us a total of 210. We divide by the total ratio is 7, and this one is going to give us exactly 30 shillings. That is the cost price, and the cost price is usually 100%. So we can ask ourselves, if 100% is equal to 30 shillings, we are targeting a profit of 30%, and therefore we must calculate the 130%, which is going to be equal to 130 times 30 divided by 100, and this one is going to give us a selling price of 39 shillings per kg. That is the answer to that particular question. We move to another question that was done in K.c.s.e, and the question we have reads, the mass of a mixture A of beans and maize is 72 kilograms. The ratio of beans to maize is 3:5 respectively. A, find the mass of maize in the mixture. We have a mixture A that is made up of maize and beans. And we have been told that beans to maize, that is beans to maize, is 3:5. And we are supposed to calculate the mass of maize in 72 kilograms of the mixture. To get the mass of maize, we simply take the proportion of maize, which is 5 out of the total proportion of 8. We multiply by 72, and this one is going to give us 45 kilograms. If you want to get that of B, you can take 72 minus that of maize, which will give you 27. But anyway, the question is asking about the mass of maize in the mixture, that is in 72 kilograms. B, a second mixture B of maize and beans of mass 98 kgs is mixed with A. The final ratio of beans to maize is 8:9 respectively. Find the ratio of maize to beans in B. This again is very easy. We have a mixture B which is made up of both beans and maize, and the total mass is 98 kgs. We have mixed A and B so that the total mass of the mixture, that is of A and B, will give us 72 plus 98, giving us a total of 170 kgs. From there now, I think we are good to go. We can now start by looking at the final ratio. The final ratio of beans to maize, that is of B to M, is 8 to 9. So this final ratio contains part of the components of A and B. We can now start by getting the mass of beans. Mass of beans in A and B will be equal to, the ratio that represents beans is 8, out of the total ratio of 17, that is 8 plus 9. We multiply by 170, and this one here is going to give us 80 kgs. Once we have the mass of beans in A and B, we can now proceed and get the mass of maize in A and B. And for us to get the mass of maize in A and B, we are simply going to take the total, which is 170, minus what has been taken by beans, and this one is going to give us 90 kgs. Once we have done that, we can now proceed and get the mass of beans in B. Mass of beans in B will be equal to, remember the mass of beans from A will be 27, and in this case we are going to take 80 minus 27, which will give us 53 kgs. And after that, we can now calculate the mass of maize. This is 53 kgs. Remember, 27 is actually the mass of beans in the first mixture, which is obtained by taking 72 minus 45, giving us 27 kgs. Now, we can now proceed and get the mass of maize in B. Mass of maize in B will be equal to, remember mass of maize in A and B is 90. So we are going to subtract 45, and this one is going to give us 45. So once we have that, we can now be able to proceed and get the ratio of maize to that of the beans. Remember, that of maize has been found to be 50. So maize is 45, beans is 53, and therefore if we are looking at maize to beans, we are going to have 45 to 53, or if we are talking about beans to maize, we are going to have 53 to 45, and that is the answer to this particular question. Thank you for watching and welcome to our discussions. And in case you are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that anytime we publish a video like this, you'll automatically be given a notification.